Okay. Hi there. So should F1 students should be allowed to work like without restriction? How I wish.
Good one.
Nice start.
I think that we already allowed to work though. We can like as a F1 student, we can work I think 20 hours a week.
But you're against, right?
I'm against. I'm against.
No,
But I just say we can work.
Can't talk.
And it's possible we have like a part-time job as a student. But the thing is, it's not always beneficial for students to like work while they attending classes. Because I mean, for example, me personally, I'm volunteering somewhere.
Volunteering.
I can tell.
Where are you volunteering, by the way?
Don't disturb him.
I can tell. I mean, it's kind of hard to focus on class, especially like on weekend. On Sunday, I have to like to finish late. I sometimes don't submit my homework. Mr. Jeremy can say. And when I come on Monday class, I'm not like focused 100% because I waste a lot of energy at my where I'm volunteering. And then I think it just doesn't match because I mean, it's okay that we maybe need some. We have sometimes some financial issue. We need like to have a part-time job. But the only thing is about concentration. We don't have like, you can have like a lot of energy that you're gonna do where at school. So I think it's just like crazy to work and go to school at the same time. And then I think some students maybe are gonna be more focused on working than attending to school. I mean that's my own point. That's my opinion. That's why I think that we as F1 student we shouldn't work more than 20 hours a week. And the thing without restriction is the main thing because I mean we cannot let F1 student like work like without restriction. We always need like to have some limits that we can like focus on school sometime or like do the homeworks and also focus on classes like save some energy for school. That's why I'm totally like against for F1 student to work. Even if I wish, but I'm against. I have to be against them.
Cool. It's up to you if you want to. Yeah. Go ahead. Let me sit over here with you guys.
Hi everyone, so today we're talking about a very sensitive issue and this topic has been discussing for years. I'll give you some history background. Before 1919, there is no issue about F1 or student visa. Before 1919, so US government did not track the purpose of immigrants who are coming to the United States. But at 1919, so they formed Institute of International Education, just to track what is the purpose of people who are coming to the United States and help them, to get the goal. So I'll give you the brief statistics. In 2013, 800 students came to the United States. So they enrolled into graduate or undergraduate institutes, and 4 years later, 2017, 2018, 1.2 million students came. So this number is increasing, and mostly 97% of people who are coming to the United States to study from developing countries, and they see United States as a place of the promised land. So they come and they want to develop themselves, and U.S. government give them opportunity and to build platform for their future. So they open the door to people come and get the best what they could. And one of the condition, or catch, that students they need to prove their financial background. So they will be able to not only study but also to cover their living expenses. But people they probably take some fake documents, and for this reason they need to work to cover their living expenses. The recent survey from Student Exchange Visitor Information System says 87% of F1 holders are working. And it creates a huge black market. And the cost of that black market between 10-15 billion dollars. So all students work, they get cash, and usually they, how to say, damp the wage. They are ready to work under the certain wage, like of $8 per hour, $9, and it damages economic. They don't pay taxes, and it's a change of chain of sequence. People who hire, they break the law because they hire illegal people. They pay on the table, so it's a big problem. And it's obvious that many students who come to the United States, they have ulterior motive. They come not to study, they come to stay in the United States for a long time. Why? Because statistics again show that 70% of students, they do not return back to their home countries. They have anchor babies, they're ready to marry someone while they're here. And what else?
Yes, we are.
Oh yeah. So they move for years from one place to another place just to hold their F1 visa. Again, why? Because most students from developing countries, and they want to. No, it's not their example, Sandra. Yeah, because they're surviving. It's obvious. So for this reason, so we're against that F1 students, so they can work more than 20 hours a week.
Okay.
Tanya, please.
You have 7 minutes.
I don't have other points to go.
It's up to you.
Me go.
It's up to you if you want to talk for the whole 7 minutes or just share it.
We can share. We can
Sounds
share.
like a
Yes.
plan. Anyone you want. Okay, good. And you have any time you want there, Ms. Nabra. All right.
Okay, this is a very interesting topic, and I was waiting for this topic because full of emotions. So working as a part-time, so while we are studying, we do get an opportunity to work part-time for 20 hours. So why not to take that opportunity? You know, being on F1, whatever. Like we are studying ESL, but there are people who have come for their masters and all. So while studying, you can also take an experience of working, and in your resume you will have that time to show that okay, you've been working for a longer period, you know. And I had a point of so it depends how much you have to show in your account, universities to universities, and some students do get sponsorships. But like let's say one of my friends, I'll give you an example. One of my friends, she was here for an MBA, and her situation totally changed. Her father showed a financial account where he could afford to pay the fees, but then later on he got bankrupted and the studies were in between. So she applied for work visa, and you know, so in that situation you do have an option to apply for work permit if the situation is in between. What happened? Okay, so anyways, so it will help you in your cost of living too. If anything goes wrong, you can work and you know, cover your rents and even studies. You know, the books. We are paying like $100 or $200 for books, but in other courses the books are not $100. The books are way way expensive. Yeah, so that's one of the points. And now Tanya will continue.
Okay, so already we are allowed to work, which is like 20 hours, but that is not adequate enough for everybody. I understand that while giving admission to students, they make sure that you have the financial stability to support your education. But again, as Namrata mentioned, that any mishap can happen. People can go bankrupt, people can have any issues, because of which that financial stability is no more available. So the student gets stuck, and here you don't get any other option. to continue your studies other than working. So already, if you check the statistics, already 4 out of 5 students are working. So if you are actually seeing that people are working, why do you want them to work under the table? Why don't you allow them to work? Moreover, if you say that they are here to focus on studies because they are here to take the degree or any education, if you see like the residents or the citizens, they can work and they can study. So what do you think? They don't study? They can't focus on their studies? They can, certainly. I have a lot of friends. They are resident here, they are citizens here. They work, they study, they do everything, and they can balance. It's up to the person himself, how they are taking it. If you're serious with your studies, regardless of working or regardless of having affairs in your life, you are still manage the studies. You can't, again, you can bring the horse to the water, but you can't force the horse to drink the water. So the same way, you can make the students come here, but you can't force them to study.
Preach it.
So you can obviously allow them to work so that they can actually finance themselves. Parents are really proud of their children who actually can finance their studies. And I know a lot of students, like, I mean, Jose, he finances himself. He doesn't need finance from his family. So it's always good because that's how you learn how to manage money, how to be independent. So it's always good. So I don't see any problem. Again, you can't force students to study regardless. Even, I mean, if you take me, how many homeworks do I do? I have nothing to do. I don't do anything, but still I sometimes don't do my homework. You can't force me. So I'm not working, I'm not doing anything, but still, I'm not doing it. Although I have a lot of time. So, I mean, I don't think, considering this, that the focus would be an issue, should be a main concern here. Thank you.
And we are also, if we are working, I just want to add one point. If we are working,
Oh,
we,
I still have time. I can speak more.
we can also pay taxes.
It's up to you.
So it's a profit to
I can't.
the
No, you
American
can't.
government.
Don't worry.
Okay. Big time.
Yeah, go on.
I made my point.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, considering these points, and apart from that, if you see people who are already working under the table, who are under the stress of getting caught. I mean, you know, as per the statistics, probably like 70 or 80%, they are working under the table. So this is a stress that, you know, anytime you'll get caught, anytime they get to know that you are working illegally here, make it legal, make it possible for us. Open opportunities for us. I mean, this is a land of opportunities, right? So open those opportunities for us as well. Why only for residents or for the citizens? The more you make people, you know, stop, ask them to stop doing things, they're gonna do it more. It's the same goes with the children. You stop them from doing something, they're gonna do it. Stop us and we'll do it. Don't stop us and we'll be good.
Thank you.
Bada bing, bada boom.
I still have 1 minute. Anyways, I think I made my point clear.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we can end it there. That's fine. Cool. Okay, so at this point,
You said you can control them.
what are you telling me? Yeah. Okay. No. That's okay.
I can do that
Now,
without preparation.
Sade is going to bring a counterpoint. He's got 5 minutes to either bring up new
My friend.
issues or to bring a counter.
Good.
No
While the
offense.
other side, yeah, you guys gotta listen only. Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna take the, I'm gonna take the same example that you gave for like the resident or the citizens.
Debate.
Okay. Yeah, we're talking about the resident or student, they like working and going to school at the same time.
Right.
But I can tell most of them they take online classes. I mean, or even if it's
Not
not
all
online
cool.
classes, they just take 1, 2 classes. Okay.
You can't answer.
And as a F1 student, we're not allowed to like take less than 4 classes the semester. But for the resident, I mean, I know most of them they take online classes. That's why they have enough time to go to work. And then back home, they're just gonna spend like 1 hour, do their homework, do their assignment, and then chill. But as F1 student, we're talking about F1 student, we have some restriction, okay? We cannot take online classes, for example. We cannot take less than 4 classes for on the session. So that means that most of our time we need to focus on the studies than like than working. No, we have to work at least, I mean, 20 hours. I'm not saying that we have to work for this opportunity, we gotta take it. But the F1 student, most of them think that, okay, it's not enough. I cannot even cover my rent for 20 hours a week. That's what they say. That's why they want more, or they're trying to get like an illegal job. That's what I mean. But it's for a resident or student, it's a different circumstance. For example, me back home, okay, I was working and going to school at the same time because I mean the school was not mandatory for me. I could go to school if I want to quit, I can quit. But here with F1 student, we have to attend classes. So that's why, I mean, we already have like a lot of things to do at school. So if you want to add more than 20 hours work, I think you're not gonna focus well at school. And I think for students, the right moment to work like maybe full time is after they get graduated. After that, yeah, you can work on your field or try to practice what you have learned. But most of F1 students, they working, but they don't work in the field they're studying. They just work to Walmart as a cashier, and it doesn't have any like relationship between what you're studying and what you're working. So that I mean that's my point, and I'm gonna add some point.
So we are very appreciate for the feedback from our opponents. It was very emotional speech. I understand. Yeah. It was kind of the voice from the desert. Help us, yeah. And U.S. government tries to help you. So they open the door and give foundation, just to let you come and study. And as you know, I'm talking to you. Yeah. So as you know, the most universities, they have the scholarship programs, and even LIT has it. I don't know if you know or don't know, but many universities, they have scholarship program. And if you have some like a financial issue, you can come talk to them, and probably so they will find solution for you. But you need to show your priority that you are here to study, and by your academic achievement, so they will, so they will consider, yeah. So definitely, as we already mentioned, so this program has been working since 1919, almost 100 years, and U.S. government was playing, has been playing with all these other questions just to see what is the drawbacks, of if they let all these 1 million students to work full time, 40 hours, 50 hours a week. So for this reason, yeah, they made a generous step. 20 hours a week, maximum, at the place where they study. So just to get some finances to cover their expenses. So this is the final. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. All right. So now you finally get a chance to rebuttal. 5 minutes. All right. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so I'm.
Anytime.
Okay, so Seda had made a point online classes, right? Sada, you understood, right?
I went
So-
to the teacher actually.
Online classes, you mentioned that we don't have a choice to take online classes. Is that
That's
right?
what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, in HCC, actually I applied for HCC, and through that I know that we have an option of taking 2 classes in the campus, and 1 we can take online.
Only one
So,
class.
but so like this, we just have to go 2 days. So the rest of the 5 days we are free. Again, I calculated that we stay awake for at least, this is the average I'm saying, we are awake for 12 hours a day. So that calculates by 7, which is 84 hours a week we are awake. In that, if we are going on campus for 15 hours, we get still 69 hours just, free. In which, let's say if you have your assignments and studies, I minus 50 hours of your study and assignments, which I know nobody does. Nobody studies for 10 hours a day. Nobody does it, right? Still, you can work for part-time. So that was my point, that while studying, you can even work.
Okay.
Got that in?
We have 2.5 minutes.
Good for me. Enough for me. Okay, so as Sarah mentioned, that working at Walmart or as a cashier doesn't count in our experience. I understand. I 100% agree. But we do work there because we are not allowed to work at any other organization, unfortunately. If we were, we wouldn't be working at Walmart. At least I wouldn't. So of course, if you give us chance to work anywhere in an organization, who would want to be a cashier or working at a Walmart, cleaning? Nobody. Like, do you think it's good to work like at a restaurant as a receptionist, as a waiter, as a waitresses? Hell no. So of course, if you give us chance to work legally in an organization with a white collar job, who would want to go for a blue collar job? Nobody. So we go to Walmart because we are not allowed to work. So if we are allowed, we would work at better places with a white collar job. Moreover, since we work at such like the blue collar jobs, we don't get any experience. And when we go to get the job after we are done with our courses or degrees, they look for students, or they look for people or candidates who have more experience. We don't have any experience. Why? Because we were like only studying, doing nothing. So if you give us chance, we can always take evening classes and we can work in morning. For whatever experience we have. Like, I'm already bachelor's. If I'm looking for master's here, I can work in an organization as a bachelor's and I can gain some experience. And after my master's degree, when I go out, I at least have an experience, so I'm not a fresh here. So of course, my pay would be better than a fresh graduate. Moreover, yes, they do have option for us for 20 hours, but only on campus. How many on-campus jobs they have? Very limited. And unlimited students. They cannot accommodate all students. So they should open, if not the door, then at least some windows for us to breathe. To breathe the fresh air. I think so. No, I'm not in favor of the holes. At least a window, at least for us to breathe. Like all the other, this is kind of mistreatment. That these people, the other people who are residents, they are working, they are getting experiences. They are getting their degree, they are getting their experiences, and when both the resident and the student, when we are done with our degrees, they are here and we are here. Why? Because they have the experience. We don't. So we should get the chance to get the experience. And again, you can't force anybody to do things. If you are determined, you will do it. If you are not determined, regardless how much time we give to you, you are not going to utilize it the way you should. So it's up to the person. So at least the laws should be flexible enough so that we can do the best for ourselves. And yes, they do have financial aids available. They do have scholarships available, but the criteria is too high. Not everybody can achieve that. Maybe I'm a very studious student and I can reach there, but maybe you are not that studious and maybe you can miss that scholarship by like 2 points and your dad got bankrupted. Boom.
Okay, time's up.
Boom.
Yes. All right. Okay. 2 minutes for a closing remark. Anything you like? Here we go. Boy, oh boy.
All right. So we heard another very emotional speech. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. Which is not bad. Not strong arguments, but
Bada bing, bada
bada bing, bada boom. Okay. So we want to sum up with Sada that study is a privilege. If you come here to study, you get this privilege. You have a chance to get something very valuable for your future. And everyone has a chance and right to get education and come and study. Everyone. But to get this privilege, we need to be able to afford it, to pay for it. If people who are coming to the United States cannot afford it, cannot pay for it, probably it's not your right time. We need to settle our priorities. And if we cannot study and focus on study, probably we need to give that seat or place to another person who really wants to come and get this knowledge. So for this reason, yeah, we're very supportive with Sarah that U.S. government forbids all students to work more than 20 hours a week outside of the campus, just to let students be focused on their study so they could get the academic achievement.
Great. 2 minutes now. The team has 2 minutes for closing remarks. You can use it to summarize or something else or to.
Yeah, we'll split.
Okay, if you want to, if you can.
Yeah,
Anyway.
okay. So, yes, certainly getting education is a privilege for everybody who gets it, because not everybody has a chance to get it. But people who don't get it is because of the reasons they can't get it, because of maybe affordability or something. So again, if you're not letting us earn, yes, we are one of those unprivileged people who can't study because we don't have the money to it. And certainly, if you have the financial stability, then only you should take the seat and not let the other people to miss the seat.
Mm-hmm.
But there are mishaps that can happen in between, such as bankruptcy, such as financial issues, anything can happen. So there has to be ways out for those mishaps. So affordability shouldn't be something that should stop very bright students from studying.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, if you study with work, you get more experience. So I mean, work like white collar job at offices. So it's always we should be allowed to work so that we have more experience and we are better. And we are as compared to the other students who are like the citizens and the residents, so we are at the same par with them.
And my closing point would be, like, you have an opportunity to work, right? I mean, the government is allowing you to work part-time. Why not to take the opportunity? Why you want to underestimate yourself, you know? You can do it.
Yeah. Yay! Your hand. Yeah. Actually, give both these sides a very great hand. Okay. First of all, I gotta say, I was really impressed by. I'm just curious. Did you guys like prepare a lot of stuff?
No.
Not 5 minutes.
I thought so.
Not even 5
Sorry,
minutes.
sorry.
On the spot.
They have been thinking since they come, you know, to
No.
this
Well,
stage.
sure.
sir.
This is
We
something
didn't
you're all
even
very
know about
keenly
our
aware
topic,
of
by the way.
already. Anyway, no. But I gotta say, both of y'all, both the sides team. What I noticed today with this team and the team beforehand, y'all were listening carefully to what the other side was saying, take notes, and then you directly addressed. You know, it's not like you're talking past each other. I know there's a temptation to interrupt someone and answer immediately. It's a tough one, and I was impressed with both teams. This one and the one about the smoking in particular was good about that. So, I promise y'all will get out of here in the next 5 minutes. But anybody want to weigh in with a Q&A? Weigh in. Talk to me, Carol. What's on your mind? Yeah.
I knew that.
Please. It's home.
I just wonder.
That's okay. Are you allowed?
Yes, I just wonder that why a government have to restrain to productive adults to work.
Why does the government have to restrain productive adults?
Because even though 20 hours or a part-time is a good deal for students that don't have any time to work, is like a internal light that all people have is like use